All right, three, two, one. Hey, what's going on, y'all? It is AVIOT Sunday Brew. I'm Jay Stokes, joined by Jay Random. Jay Random is feeling a little under the weather, but I had to do some convincing, and let's cheer for Jay Random still being able to do the show.
What's going on? What's going on, cuz?
Yeah. So he will be off camera, but it's okay. We'll still have a good conversation. I wanted to start today by talking about that whole situation that happened in the Oval Office between President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and the U.S. President and the U.S. Vice President. I'm just going to say it like that because I'm just going to give their titles. That was a mess. And a lot of it had to do with President Zelenskyy of Ukraine saying, hey, this is what's going on. We're dealing with this. The president of Russia, he's not an ally. And it seemed that the US president, he was doing a lot of kind of taking up for the Russian president, a lot of pushback towards Zelenskyy. And it's interesting to me that you're getting this pushback from the US president and the vice president, yet they haven't been to Ukraine during these times of war. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, I can understand Trump not going there, but Vance been around long enough to go visit, and you clearly can see that he doesn't like Zelenskyy, meaning Vance.
Correct.
You can clearly say that. I mean, you can see how he just interjected, and he started the whole back and forth, if you ask me. And I feel like you said again, probably not Trump, but more Vance could have actually wanted to go visit. And when he was like, I visited, I mean, I seen it. It's like, come on, man. You don't even know how bad it is, but you're just reading off of bullet points that you heard from probably Putin that, it's propaganda and, he got paid, not really paid actors, but, everything you're showing, it's not really that bad. And it's like, you had a chance. Did you come see it? No, you didn't. Okay, then. So you can't speak upon it.
Right.
So
that's very true. And I thought that was very telling when President Zelenskyy had asked the vice president, have you been to Ukraine? And he said, no, but I've seen things on television. I've seen the videos.
We all seen things on television and the video.
You said what?
I said, we all seen things on the television and the video. But we don't have the opportunity to go see it like him. So that was a cop-out.
Right. I think that's very telling in terms of people having an opinion on something but not being knowledgeable. Everyone has an opinion on something, but some people feel a type of way about certain situations and they don't have enough knowledge to back up their arguments.
Correct. And that was a prime example of that shit show in the Oval Office.
Right. And the thing is, too, I think the reason why President Zelenskyy was even coming here because they're trying to do a minerals agreement. I think there's some minerals over in Ukraine that they have that they were trying to do a partnership with the U.S. in terms of trade or work out a deal so that we can have that the U.S. can have access to those minerals. So after this, it's safe to say that deal is off the table.
You know what? I would like to say it should be off the table, but, President Trump wants to get paid. He wants his money back, even though it's not, technically it's not his money, it's taxpayers' money. But so somehow that deal is going to still happen. And it's just a shame that, once again, we all had to witness that. There should have been a point. There should have been a adult in the room to say, all right, listen, this is going left. Let's go to commercial. No, I mean, even because, think about it. Even President Trump was like, this is good for TV. No, not everything should be about TV ratings.
Right.
Because you're right. The news is now buzzing about it, but in the wrong way. Because this happened on Friday, and ever since that happened, all the other countries in Europe have joined forces in solidarity for Ukraine.
Right.
So now we're looking like the odd man out.
Right. Just want
and we're supposed to be the leader of the free world, and we ain't looking too much like a leader.
Oh, definitely not. And just to interject right quick, Christopher Shoemaker. Hi, how you doing? Hi, nice to see you join the live. And Caravaggio, the point you needed to see it. So, are you saying that we, the public, needed to see that conversation between President Zelensky and the U.S. president and vice president? Is that what you're trying to say, Caravaggio? But yeah, I mean, it's bad that you have Europe, Europe largely joining forces with Ukraine, and then you have the U.S. because of our leadership backing out. Because now it strains our relationship with Europe, and we're supposed to be aligned, right? I wouldn't be surprised if didn't the U.S. pull out of NATO, or are they going to pull out? Like, isn't there kind of some talks around that?
Well, President-elect Musk, he wants us to be pulled out. So I don't know. Let's see if it happens.
I just looked it up too. It says Tesla man. That's what I call him, Tesla man. Tesla man appears to back U.S. withdrawing from NATO and the UN. Wow, this is 4 hours ago. This came out.
Yeah, I know.
There is no NATO without the U.S. Hey, can you explain in more detail, Caravaggio? How is there no NATO without the U.S.? Can you explain?
Because the U.S. is one of the biggest backers financially.
Oh,
one of. So I mean, so one of is good enough. But I mean, granted, NATO would struggle without us financially. So so it's not a good look if we back out.
Got it. Hi, Summer. Thank you for joining. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
The only thing it's going to do is make everybody join forces more and add more to the pot. And then, once we back out, don't try to come back in 4 years later. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like we got to choose our words wisely going forward on what we're going to do because it's no more tweeting. This is what I should do. This is what it should no more tweeting. It should be just we're going to do something or we're not.
Yeah, don't telegraph your actions.
Yeah, because it can be a bad backlash, if you ask me, because right about now, we saw what happened on Friday in the Oval Office. Now you're seeing all these European companies coming together. They're doing emergency sessions. They're doing a lot of talking, and we ain't at that table.
Right. And Caravaggio had said, yes, the U.S. contributes financially, but more importantly, the NATO military infrastructure requires American-controlled satellite systems to be effective.
Correct.
Sheesh. I wish there was a way, because here's the thing. A lot of the public in the U.S. does not agree with the actions of this current political administration, right? But then at the same time, a lot of people in this country voted for this current administration. So can you really say that we as a whole don't agree with their actions? Because I've seen people online, and obviously online is not indicative of everybody, but they're saying, we don't support this. Please, other countries, leave us out of this. We don't support this administration. But then a lot of the country, according to the polls, right, we don't know if it's real or not, voted them in.
So you got to look at it like this, though, and I agree with you saying. But as far as I know, when you think about Republicans, right? Yeah. I'm just saying Republicans, because we got a Republican president.
Right.
Republicans, a diehard Republican, never ever thought Putin was our ally.
Right.
So the way President Trump is moving right about now, I don't think a lot of diehard Republicans are agreeing upon this because Putin is not our ally. And, why are we in bed with this man? Basically what we did, we just basically put on TV, hey, Putin, look what we did for you. See, yeah, we're going to show everybody that President Zelenskyy is unhinged. But I thought that man he held it very well, I think, because all that yelling and, even at one point when President Trump touched him, he slightly grazed him with his hand, was like stop talking type. It was just embarrassing. So
yeah, it was definitely a show.
Yeah, we needed to see it, but I didn't need to see it that long. It was 45 minutes. At some point we all saw the wheels coming off the track.
Right.
And I think it probably started with that guy asking President Zelenskyy about a suit. When damn well we all know Elon never wears a suit in the White House. Just because you wear a sport coat, that is not a suit.
Right. Just want to chime in right quick. Hey, King Linwood, thank you for joining. How much money do you want to go to Zelenskyy? Listen, I'm not going to speak towards military operations. What I will say is that Ukraine, them being that close to Russia, that is a point of interest in terms of Russia taking more territory and then potentially moving further into other areas like Poland and all the nearby countries that surround Ukraine. Do you really think Russia is going to stop at Ukraine if they were to take over? Right. So I think that's more of why the U.S. has been involved in trying to thwart their operations, trying to make sure that Ukraine is successful and that they can successfully hold off this Russian invasion. That's my thoughts on it. Also, too, just circling back, Random, you're talking about the president not going to Russia. Remember, President Biden, not going to Russia, to Ukraine. Remember, President Biden went to Ukraine during this war. Like, he went there. So he went there, and I don't know if Kamala went there. Let me see. But I know that Biden went there, and I think that is a show of leadership, a show of strength that he went there.
No, I agree. I mean, and that's funny that how much of your money you want to go to Zelenskyy. Well, I think a lot of people also, if they pay attention to the number, when you say money, a lot of the stuff we gave them was military equipment that we were never going to use again.
Right.
You know, I hate to say that it was old and obsolete, but it was old, right? And it costs a lot of money to decommission a lot of these military equipment that we have. So it's easier for us to give it to Zelenskyy, right?
Right.
At a discount or damn near for free. And because we were going to get rid of them anyway, right? And so I think a lot of time we get lost on the money aspect because we look at it as is money, like dollars, and it's really just for us to give them equipment. That's money, but it's not like tangible. Okay, sorry, yeah. So it's not like dollar bills. It's like it's equipment. A tank ain't free, so you got to add that up. How much does that tank cost? So it's a lot of equipment we're giving them to fight this war.
Right.
So, I think right about now, I feel like this. I was always about, this war, but that's not important now because we're talking about what happened on Friday. Once I saw what happened on Friday, I was kind of like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? Are we trying to make peace or are we trying to start something else up? Right. Because this whole Friday thing was about signing over. Well, not signing over, but signing a deal for minerals. Yeah. And it just went left. Right.
Right.
The only thing it did was made more countries band together and say, okay, we realize America may not be our allies like we thought they were. So we're going to have to come together and put more money in this pot because, President Trump is also lying about how much money we gave. We gave 139 billion. He said we gave 350 billion. No, we haven't given 350 billion. Also, Germany has given more than we have. So, yeah, you can actually look it up and Google it. So, I mean, it's just Friday was a mess. It should have went straight to commercials once Vance started talking. No, I think once the man started asking him about wearing a suit, because that just ticked me off. Because
he's
Elon
always dressed like that. He's always dressed like that. So
but also Elon goes there every day. Elon has a sweatshirt. Oh, no, Elon has a t-shirt on that barely fits his damn stomach, right? Then he has a sports coat on and that stupid ass hat, and he's talking for hours. It seems like it's like, come on, guy. Really, y'all let Elon could walk in there butt naked and y'all let him stay in there.
And pretty much, pretty much. I just wanted to circle back to some points. So I looked at President Harris and her speaking with President Zelenskyy. They met in Munich, Germany before in 2022. I don't think
Okay.
I don't know. I cannot confirm whether or not she's been in Ukraine, so I won't put that out there. And regarding the minerals deal that you were talking about, according to the deal, Ukraine was supposed to contribute 50% of future proceeds from state owned mineral resources, oil, and gas to the fund. And the fund will then invest to promote safety, security, and prosperity of Ukraine. That was supposed to be the deal.
There you go. So now we went from signing over 50% to, lead it to the media, Trump told him to leave. But the man wasn't even disrespectful. That's the funny part.
He wasn't. And I like the quote where he said, "You may just because you're raising your voice doesn't mean you're raising the strength of your arguments," or something like that. I thought that was a very good point. Zelenskyy was right. President Zelenskyy was right on that part. It was, yeah, they just kept getting progressively louder and louder, and he was being double teamed, and he's really just trying to peacefully negotiate something. And that's that. I like what vaccinated anti-vaxxer said. Trump has a big ego. He wants to be the great peacemaker, but Zelenskyy isn't on board like that. Yeah, I believe that this current president does have a big ego, and unfortunately, that blinds him to a lot of rational conversation.
Yeah, and then I also and then I like to move on because it was just a hot mess. I also didn't like how President Trump was basically said, "I gave you the power to feel like you were a big guy."
That's crazy. Yeah, that was
I
crazy.
was like, "Am I watching a part of Sopranos?" Like I sometimes I scratch my head and wonder what channel am I watching. Is HBO?
Yeah.
It's I don't know, man. Like I know we have to be informed and stay on top, because of what we do. We're media literate. I'm sorry, illiterate. A media company. Um, so so we got to stay on top of what's going on in the world.
Right.
But in the same sense, sometimes it's just it's overkill. It's
Right.
overkill. It's just like, what the heck? It's like every night on Friday, between Friday to Saturday, people are checking their damn Blue Sky account to see what's going on, who got fired. Like I just heard, was it last night that the weather was it the weather department got fired? I think it was
Other department.
yeah. I think it's NOAA. I forgot it's National Weather. Yeah. You take a look at it.
NOAA. So
Yeah.
they fired scientists who build, improve, and maintain weather models that form the backbone of weather forecasting around the globe.
Thank you. What's
Dang.
next?
Dang.
What's next?
I'm finding out that all this, what?
Hurricane season is coming up. Hurricane season is coming up, man. Some of this stuff, that's what I mean. I don't know. Sometimes, man, like I get a lot of notifications and I just go back to sleep. And it's like, because I just can't believe it.
New. Every day it's something new. So NOAA, for those of y'all who don't know, is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. So
Thank you.
Dang. Wow.
Thank you for giving the proper name. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Can you believe that?
I'm just finding out about this now that you're telling me.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Yeah, I can believe it. I don't like it, but I can believe it. Listen, they're just cutting everything. This administration, unfortunately, is cutting everything left and right. And these are very important positions that help with national security, that help with the uplifting of people who live in this country, in the US, in America. So it's really unfortunate. I really wish there were more checks and balances at hand. I mean, you got the judges in the different courts across the country that are trying to keep things in check. However, like Kenny said, it's not enough.
No, it's not enough. It's not enough because it's too many lawsuits going on. There's so many lawsuits going on. I'm losing track on what's in the court right now. Who's suing who?
Yeah.
Why are we suing?
Yeah. it's a lot. Just to pivot for a minute, so this is still on the topic of people being let go from their positions, and it links to the military that we were talking about, Ukraine. Not necessarily that, but it's dealing with the U.S. military. So, retired Army Major General Cedric T. Wins was asked to step down from his post as the first black superintendent of the Virginia Military Institute after the school's board voted against extending his contract. So this man came in, and in his job, he took down, I believe, a Confederate statue and promoted more diversity, equity, and inclusion within the military, doing away with racist jokes, doing away with and it said, I'm looking at this article right here. It said a report found that racial slurs and jokes are not uncommon and contribute to an atmosphere of hostility towards marginalized individuals. There was an outdated reverence for the Civil War and Confederacy, and a racial disparity existed among cadets who had been dismissed by the student-run honor corps. Sexual assault was also prevalent yet inadequately addressed. So this guy, Major General Wins, he came in and he was dealing with all of that. And I guess people felt uncomfortable, and that's why he's being asked to leave during this time, which to me makes no sense, because in that case, it actually weakens this part of the military. It doesn't help it.
My problem is this: how are you feeling uncomfortable? How are you feeling uncomfortable, people? Please explain that to me. How are you feeling uncomfortable about racist jokes? Like, what's the uncomfortable part? Like, do people feel uncomfortable? Like, did they explain what the complaint was?
In this article, it's from military.com. It says Matt Daniel, a 1985 graduate who helped form a group there, told the Associated Press in 2023 that VMI's diversity training for cadets initially promoted racial division and victimhood. Daniel said the training became less divisive earlier this year and began to focus more on social problems that cadets may encounter in the military or in the business world.
Okay.
Yeah, I felt him being let go, especially being the first black leader of Virginia Military Institute. That's just a sign of the times, man. It's a sign of the times. And General Cedric Wins, from what I'm seeing, he did a great job with his position. But with this current administration having a chokehold on different operations in the country, what I'm seeing is anything that promotes diversity or challenges this white is right norm, that is going to get struck down.
Yeah, this stuff is laughable, man, because, and I don't mean laughable in a ha-ha joking way, but I just can't believe some of the stuff that we're dealing with. Right. Because when you really think about it, you say to yourself, what's the problem? So what? Don't you want to have the right person in that position, right? And sometimes you have to put in rules in order for the right person to get that job. Because if you don't, then that's when you have friends hiring friends, owners hiring best friends from college that's not even qualified for the job, but because that's my best friend, I'm going to give it to him. That goes on a lot, right? And there's a reason why DEI had to come into play. It's a reason why. It's a reason why.
So speaking of which, I even want to go here too. So the chief of naval operations, Admiral Lisa Franchetti, she was fired from the military, from the Navy, I should say. She's the Navy's first female chief. She was fired without any clear explanation, and her firing has left the military without a single woman in a 4-star general or admiral leadership position, as women in top positions are already a rarity across the services, and many female officers say that they're concerned that the ouster will have far-reaching consequences. So what you're trying to tell me is you only want white men to be in these high positions in the military or in the Navy, what have you, and you only want them to straight white men from what you're saying, especially ousting trans men and trans women from the military, you want straight white men to be your only representatives when you're fighting abroad or when you're trying to protect the country.
Sad. Sad, man. That's sad. That's sad. And like I said again, don't you want the job because you worked hard for it? Don't you want the job because you qualified? Not because you had to take away something called DEI to now get this job.
That's a good
Maybe you weren't qualified for the job from the giddy up.
That's a very good point. Yeah, how do you feel as a white man getting a job based on merit, you say, but you don't have the credentials that the person that was let go has? We know through research, countless research, that black people literally have to work twice as hard in order to compete with the average white individual, right? Because white is the standard in this country. They've made it the standard. So you know that this black person that is being let go or that you're taking their job, that they were more qualified than you. And how does that affect your ego? How do you truly feel about that? Do you care?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, have some
Doesn't
pride.
make any sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So I actually wanted to pivot and talk about something that we were discussing prior to even coming on live. I went and visited the African American History Museum. Is it a National African American History Museum in Washington, D.C. yesterday. And I was looking at all the contributions, just even some, to be honest, because I couldn't make it through the whole museum. I was literally on the ground level in the basement, and my wife and I, we were traveling and we're trying to make our way, but you can't cover that museum in a day. Black history is too vast in this country. And you look at all the contributions that our ancestors and even us to this day have made, and you say, there is no America without us. So don't talk to us about merit. And then you have the nerve to not want diversity initiatives when diversity is what made this country what it is today, the superpower.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, Vid Gamer 14. Yeah, Jay Ren, I see you. I hear it in your voice. You're annoyed.
Yeah. Definitely annoyed. Definitely
I,
annoyed. Yeah. I apologize. Yeah. You know.
Yeah. What's up, Vid Gamer 14? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, so I'm speaking. Jay Random's on. He's a little under the weather right now, and so he elected to be off camera. I have this little pink thing right here. But we've been talking about a lot of what this current administration is doing in terms of eliminating DEI initiatives, and to be quite frank, putting our national security at jeopardy. When you think about that, because we started talking about President Zelensky's conversation with the U.S. president and vice president in the Oval Office. But these are the times we're living in, and unfortunately, this country as a whole has failed the group project in
Yeah.
terms of trying to come together and be better. When you look at it, though, Jay Random, this country was founded on exploitation, genocide, taking away people's homes, and then forced labor of humans, of black humans, in order to build it up, and then exploitation of immigrants that came over in the form of East Asian, whether you have Chinese, Japanese, Korean, what have you, and then now today, Central and Latin America, Mexicans, Guatemalans, other Latinos. So it's kind of part of the course that we're in this position right here. You would hope, based on how things were making this country what it is, that we could truly be better. But I guess humanity doesn't seem to exist overall in this country, and is really unfortunate. But I will say, on a positive note, you do have a lot of individuals in this country that have worked to be better, worked to, despite the circumstances of this country or how it was founded, they have worked to show humans that they matter, to uplift marginalized individuals. And people have risen to the occasion. So I go back to my visit with the African American History Museum. You saw that despite Black people being enslaved, what they were able to do. My wife and I started getting more into coming out of slavery and the different inventions that Black individuals were able to make. And you look, they really were able to turn rotten lemons into some sweet tea, some sweet lemonade, Arnold Palmer. So there are people that are still able to succeed and able to do great things. So I don't want to be all doom and gloom and say that all hope is lost. What I will say, and what we'll end on this right here, is that you have certain individuals that are putting out messages that have still been uplifting folk. Kendrick Lamar's Super Bowl performance was really good. You have people at the grassroots level. You have people in politics, Jasmine Crockett, even Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, right? They're trying to push back. But going back to Kendrick, now anyone who knows me and Jay Random, you know we are fans of Kendrick's music. We love his artistry, and you see, I hate the fact that they're always tied, but you see, dear old Aubrey over in Australia is having struggles, man, and I do think it's connected to this hip hop beef. Have you heard about it?
Yeah, I heard about it, and they're trying to say it has nothing to do with it. I don't know. I mean, because I don't think his ticket sales are really the problem. I don't know. I think he probably tried to counter Kendrick stadium tour and didn't really plan right, because now they're trying to say he's going to be in Australia for 12 days of doing nothing before he does another tour. And it's like, who messed up that schedule? I mean, he made this schedule probably in October,
The thing is,
November.
though,
Yeah.
at his performance in Australia, it seems that the people are not necessarily fans of his music. They're just fans of him being famous. Because I don't know if you saw that video where he was trying to point to the crowd to have them speak his words, and nobody knew the the lyrics.
Yes, I saw that. Pretty bad.
So you have that, and I don't think you saw the signs in the audience. People were saying, "Hey, Drake, can you pay my mortgage?" Or, "Hey, Drake, can you help me out with some money?" I don't know if you saw, like, people were holding signs asking him for favors financially
Oh,
in one performance.
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so I don't know. At least that's the image I saw, and everything's doctored nowadays. But I'm just saying allegedly. I'll say allegedly. Then it's a mess. It's a mess. I really, especially in this time that we're living in this country, we don't need to be supporting toxic individuals. We need to try and support things that are uplifting us as a unit, as a group, and that's my take there. But anyways, we'll end. Jay Randall, what's brewing for you this week?
Nothing at all, man.
Right.
Yeah, what is yeah, nothing I could think of. I can't even think past today. So yeah, today I'm just trying to get over today. It's it. Today's Sunday. One day at a time for me. One day at a time.
I understand that.
That's yeah. Until I start feeling better, one day at a time, man. I'm just trying to get back to at least 90%. I ain't asking for a lot when I say 90.
You got
You know,
Big Game of 14 laughing at you right now.
yeah, right. Oh, you like my new my screen cover? I mean,
No, laughing at you. I said, "What's brewing?" You said nothing.
oh yeah. Nothing brewing, man. Nothing's ever brewing with me because I can't think past sometimes what's going on right now. So yeah, that's it. Shoot, I don't know. You know what? In May, a lot gonna be brewing, but that's like 2 months from now, right? So
Yeah.
yeah, hit me up, yo. In May, y'all gonna hear a difference.
All right, all right. Well,
But yeah, for now, I'm chilling. What's brewing with you?
what's brewing for me? I'm still working on that project. I don't know if anyone tuned into our last AVIOT Sunday Brew episode from last Sunday. I was saying how I'm working on this project dealing with immigration. So I'm definitely still working on that. It is a work in progress. And so just when it's coming out, I'll make note of that. So there's that. Also, I got to do some more coverage of women's basketball. There was a great game last night, USC versus UCLA. Juju
Who
Watkins
won?
is the truth. And I really wish that sport outlets, the way y'all praising a certain somebody who plays in Indiana right now, I wish you would have that same energy for Juju, because what Juju is doing, we've never seen before in women's college basketball, in women's basketball, period.
And she don't shoot threes all day, do she?
She does not shoot threes all day. She has a total, and she plays defense. She's a total package.
Well, you know, guess what? Juju is what? Juju got 2 more years?
Yeah, she's a sophomore.
Oh, she's going to be a problem when she make it to the WNBA then.
What do you mean if?
I said, okay, when. I said when. I don't think I said if.
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I probably didn't say if, but I meant to say when. I don't know. I can't recall what the hell just came out of my mouth.
No, you're good.
When she makes it to the WNBA, she's gonna be no joke.
Yeah, and if you know our platform, y'all, we have tried to put emphasis on women's basketball, particularly because I feel that women's basketball, in many years, people look down upon it because you have a lot of people that are queer in women's basketball, and also it's dominated by Black women. So I feel that it doesn't get enough attention, and people don't praise these athletes. These athletes, they have great personalities. The unrivaled basketball league is wonderful, and I just want to support it and uplift it. Over the years, Jay Randall will tell y'all that I've always promoted the WNBA, not publicly, like going on online and saying it, but I've always told him and other people, y'all need to check out some WNBA games. Like, these women can ball. Am I wrong, Jay?
No, you're right. And they definitely could ball. And their games be real good, I must admit.
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, I definitely encourage all y'all, if y'all can go on YouTube, because YouTube's good at showing replays. Check out the UCLA versus USC women's college basketball game that happened last night. USC took down UCLA for the second time. UCLA was ranked number 1 in the country because they beat South Carolina early on this season. USC beat them twice.
Wow.
USC beat them. They beat them at USC, and they just beat them last night at UCLA.
So they can't be number 1 no more, then, can they?
No. UCLA is not number 1 anymore. No.
Who's number 1?
I think they said. Let me see. Who's number 1?
Please don't say UConn.
No.
UConn been number 4 for the longest.
University of Texas.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. They gotta change this up, but I think it's also because of strength of schedule too. Because Texas played a stronger schedule. UCLA didn't play a strong schedule though, and I know USC beat a lot of good teams though. USC beat UConn, I think, but I think USC lost to Notre Dame though. Yeah, I think. Let me see. Yeah, Notre Dame beat USC early on in the season. Wow. Okay. Listen, March Madness is gonna go nuts in women's basketball. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Who beat USC thus far? A big game. Notre Dame beat USC and Iowa beat USC. That was a fluke. I don't know how to where Iowa beat USC. But what are you gonna say, Randall?
I said, yeah, March Madness is about to be crazy for the women. I'm not watching the men. I could care less about the men. That's one time I really focus on women basketball. Yeah. March Madness.
Yeah. The men's not interesting at all. And I am a little salty because UConn ain't nowhere to be found.
For real?
Y'all who don't know, me and Jay Randall were from Connecticut originally, so it's UConn all day.
What's UConn ranking?
For the men?
Yeah.
All right, hold up. UConn.
I mean, that man turned down an NBA contract to be a coach. He better be at least 4th.
They're 4th in the Big East.
I was about to say.
In the Big East. They're 4th in the Big East, but what's their overall ranking? I mean, listen, he took a gamble. He wanted to win 3 in a row. He had back-to-back.
But also it's the Lakers. Nobody wants the Lakers.
Yeah, no, nobody lost. There's too much turmoil going on over there.
Yeah. Too much control.
Well, UConn not even in the Durham national ranking.
See, there you go.
Yeah, UConn not even nationally ranked.
See?
Bruh, that's crazy.
For nothing.
That's crazy. Wow. But yeah, I will say, as we close, for women's college basketball, my teams, Obviously, I want UConn to go far. I love USC. I love Notre Dame. And I love South Carolina. Those are my squads. Okay.
You
I
know
like
what?
individual players on other teams. Like I love Georgia Amore from Kentucky. Love Flage Johnson from LSU. Love what's the name? Michaela Williams from LSU. And why is her name escaping me? Why is her name escaping me? Hold up. Her name is. Sorry, give me 1 second. Why is her name escaping me? I see her name. I mean, I see her face.
I
Yeah,
don't know what you're talking about. So there you go.
I know you don't know what I'm talking about, but it's gonna come. Anissa Morrow. Jeez.
Okay.
Anissa Morrow. Yeah, yeah. I don't know how. I was seeing her face, but I forgot her name for a second. Yeah, Anissa Morrow. Yeah, so I like different players that are on different teams, right? But the
Gotcha.
teams that I truly love are in this order: South Carolina, because our parents are from South Carolina, so them and UConn go hand in hand. South Carolina, UConn, uh, Notre Dame, then USC. Those are the squads that I love, and I hope
Gotcha.
to see them go far.
Gotcha. All right. Well, hey, listen, let's see, right?
What about Cooper Flag? He's not buzzing, man. Come on, man. Ain't nobody care about no Cooper Flag.
Yeah. Nah, but you know what? But you know what? In all due respect, they did try to hype him up, but I don't really hear too much about him too.
I mean, I think Cooper Flag. This is my prediction, right? And I could be wrong, but my prediction is Cooper Flag is going to be a really good college player, but in the NBA, he's not going to make any noise. That's my.
Mm.
He's averaging 19.3 points, 7.6 rebounds, 4.1 assists on 49.2% field goal shooting. So, I mean, that's good. Solid
That's
numbers.
real good.
Yeah, solid numbers.
Yeah.
And I think he's a freshman. Yeah, he's a freshman. Solid
Okay.
numbers.
So I mean, yeah, it's just it probably is just no one's really probably paying attention to the men at all. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, well, those who are into men's basketball are going to just focus there. I've been more inclined to look into women's basketball just because I just like the storylines, and then they stay in school, so you get to see them progress throughout
Hmm.
their tenure in college, and you know that all the women that are coming out of college and going to the WNBA, they're educated, they're intelligent, they have some level of intelligence.
Yeah. No,
I
I
think
agree. I agree.
you think
I
Cooper comes
agree.
out this year?
I would hope not. But yeah, I think he is.
6'9", 205. He weighs less than me. Wow. Okay. He gotta get his weight up.
Don't they all?
Yeah,
But that
6'9",
one, yeah.
205. You gonna get bullied. Well, I mean, there's KD, but Cooper Flag ain't no KD. Anyways, we're rambling. Yeah,
That's
that's a big problem with
all
the
good.
NBA. Imagine if Zion stayed. I agree. See, Vic Gamer 14, you gotta come on these lives every Sunday because I like your comments. They're really good. You see the comment, right, Jay?
Yes, it.
Yeah, Big Gamer 4. You're right. You are absolutely correct. If Zion
No,
would
I
have stayed
think
on 4 years, he would have developed his game more, and they could have got his eating in check potential.
nah. You know what? To be honest with you,
What's
he
up?
did the right thing by leaving because he would have been exposed.
Oh,
He would have been exposed. He's accident prone. Imagine him being in college for 4 years, and every time we turn around, this man on the bench because his ankle or his foot, or he breaks something, or he getting fatter by the second. They be like, "We ain't taking him in the NBA." Think about it. Nah,
yeah.
man was nah. See, that's the problem with the NBA. NBA got. I mean, that's the problem with the NBA in college. They gotta start letting these kids. They gotta force them to stay longer. But the problem is, but now we got the G League. So it's like if it's too many options not to stay.
And you can't say anything about money because they're making NIL money now. So they get
Yeah.
paid in college. So you can't say, oh, I need this for my family. No, you get paid in college now. It's not
Mm-hmm.
NBA money, but it's money.
No. Think about it. Some of them probably getting paid more than the G League players.
That's true.
So I mean, it's money. It's money out there. But yeah, I think Zion might have been exposed like real bad. Cause think about it. In all the years we saw Zion, how many times that man played a full season? Now add that to staying in college. He would have been done. Remember, he blew his sneaker out when we played against. Who was he played against? I forgot who he played against, but I know Obama was there.
Was it North Carolina?
Yeah, broke. I mean, messed up his sneakers, messed up his ankle. They kept on putting that man on reserve too long. Nah, he would not be who he is now. And for him to even get that contract, and I forget Zion even in the league sometimes.
Yeah. He's like
imagine if they would made Ben Simmons stay for 4 years. Lord, I found out earlier Ben Simmons was a bust.
Yeah, I mean, where he at now? He with the Clippers now.
Yeah, man, he doing all right. He's scoring like 10 points.
Wow.
Yeah, he's scoring.
Nah, he's averaging 8 point set. No, he's averaging 6.3 points.
Okay, well, yeah, probably some nights he don't score. I don't know what to say. Listen, he averaging more than he did on Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, he just took that money and decided to sit.
Yeah, Brooklyn. That's crazy.
Maybe that's what we're gonna have to do next time. We can start real quick with the BS and focus heavily on sports. I know that's me and Taylor's topic, but this is live, so we can do sports on the live. But maybe we'll do that next time because this is a lot better, and I even hear your mood improving.
Probably. You realize. My bad. Don't call me out like that.
All right. Well, listen. Thanks, y'all, for tuning in. Make sure to spread word about what we're doing here. We are a media education company, but AVIOT, we're the official podcast of Chemistry Productions. Check out our last 2 podcast episodes. I did those solo. Jay Random was traveling, but I think they were nice. I tried.
You did what? Songs or shows, you said?
Yeah, the shows. The AVIOT.
I thought you said you did these songs. I would have said, what the hell, Jared singing now?
No, I ain't singing.
That's why I was like, wait, did I hear him right? Okay, because I heard you wrong. My bad.
Yeah,
okay.
AVIOT podcast shows, AVIOT. Check us out on streaming services, support us, and listen, we'll see y'all next time, all right?
Yes. Peace.